So we have a few more speakers here in our second half. Y'all having fun with the story jam? All right. So next we have Michael Tomaloff, and he is known as the Willy Street Co-op Mr. T. He is a professional cook. He lives in Cottage Grove. He is back in the culinary trades after a long and boring hiatus, and is thrilled to have the opportunity to share his love and passion for the craft of cooking, food that nourishes both the body and soul. Let's give it up for Michael, everybody.
I'm Mike, and this is about kapusta. Because when I cook, I find myself thinking of all the people who got me there, the people who taught me the craft and the mechanics and the secrets and put me on the path that I'm on. And when I cook at home for friends and family, I think most about Harriet Rosinski, my Aunt Hattie. She lived in a small house with the stoic yet hilarious Uncle Leo. And they lived next door to Hattie's sister, Gladys, gay. Vladislava, they called her before the nuns changed it. And Grandpa Chuck. And they had this huge backyard, and I could write chapters on any of these people. But this is about Hattie, and she was born in Poland in a small village next to a national forest on the border with Russia. And she used to tell me about the summers she would spend with her aunt and uncle, helping around the house with the cooking and the cleaning in Warsaw, and rolling his cigarettes before he went to work, and tending their garden, which was full of tomatoes. The pricking of the vines drove her to hate tomatoes for the rest of her life. But her sister Gladys was born here, but Auntie came over on the boat right past the Statue of Liberty and to America. And her father was a citizen already, and she was spared the indignities and the poking and the prodding and the shuffling and the herding and the impromptu name changes of Ellis Island. She and Leo didn't have kids of their own, but that didn't stop them from being like parents to a whole lot of us, my brother and my mother and I included. And for years, starting in 55 or 56, they would take groups of kids to Disneyland in California to visit there and to see my uncle ski, who was a helicopter pilot in the Marines. And they would eat dinners of oatmeal, or they'd share a Cornish hen between the two of them just to fill the Disneyland fund. But then on Sundays, Sunday supper was, all the rules were it was all bets were off, because the menu at those family meals was an encyclopedia of comfort food. Cabbage rolls and stew and braised short ribs, cornflake chicken, chop suey, stroganoff. But the king of her recipes, the one that brings it home for me, is kapusta. Now, if you've never heard of kapusta, it's braised sauerkraut with cabbage and mushrooms and onions and bacon and vinegar. And hers was the best. Every Polish family probably has this recipe, but hers was the best. So whenever I lift the lid on a pot of kapusta that I make, it takes me right back to her and Leo's house. Just the giant strawberry cookie jar, every detail of her kitchen, the aluminum drinking cup on the sink, the lacy curtains, every magnet on the avocado fridge, every drawer pull and every cabinet handle is just... And we'd pack in the car and head over to the adjoining houses over on Durand Avenue, and that storm door would open, and that metallic hiss and that squeaky chain would open up, and that smell, cabbage and bacon, would just pull you in. And of course, when I was 8, I didn't understand the beauty of fermented cabbage, much less the dish of kapusta, of which the cabbage is the root. But I didn't get that. Another thing that I didn't get when I was 8 was that someday I couldn't fathom that this cast of characters would be anything but alive and present, with a joke and a story and a hug and to pass the mashed potatoes. And there's nothing I wouldn't give now just to go back to one of those dinners for a moment, just a minute. And this dish, this simple pleasure of cabbage and mushrooms and peasant food, I still cook it in my aunt's cast iron pot, and it's my time machine. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Michael, everybody. I want to try some of that Polish dish. Can you get that at the Willy Street Co-op? Soon. All right. All right. All right. Tony's the one to talk to. Watch out, Tony. You're gonna have some fans afterward.